Welcome everybody to the Manitoba Legislature. It's Throne Speech Day. My name is Dan Lett. I'm a political columnist for the Winnipeg Free Press. I'm here to tell you 5 things that you probably need to know about today's speech from the throne. The first thing I'd like to tell you is not as specific about today's speech, but in general, throne speeches tend to be pretty vague. The government likes to drop a few details out, just enough to sort of generate some news interest, but not so many details that they steal from future announcements. So there's a little bit of frustration for those of us in the media. We'd love to know more about what the government is saying. We only get they only show a little bit of leg on Throne Speech Day, and that's supposed to keep us interested for somewhere in the neighborhood of the next 6 months. The second thing that you should know, and this is specifically about this speech from the throne, is this is the NDP government's first opportunity to try to reframe the whole debate around their decision to raise the provincial sales tax by 1 percentage point to fund infrastructure. A lot of the speech is dedicated to restating and refocusing exactly what the government's trying to do in terms of explaining why they raised the PST in the April budget and what they hope that will accomplish. And what they hope that will accomplish is primarily infrastructure. They want to build things. The third thing you need to know about this speech from the throne is that, as previously mentioned about reframing that debate around the PST hike and infrastructure, is there are some specific details about what the government wants to do with all that extra money. They're talking about a $5.5 billion program of new and previously unannounced projects. Sometimes these are brand new projects, and sometimes these are enhancements or expansions of other projects that were previously announced. The specifics that we have, new flood-proofing work to be done on Highway 75, which is the major link between Winnipeg and the U.S. border, to ensure that it is not closed down every other year or 2 out of every 3 years because of flooding. There's also a promise to do major upgrades on the perimeter highway on the southwest portion to create a new connection with Centerport, which is the new trade and economic zone near the airport. These are fairly significant announcements and things that should speak well to the construction and transportation industries. The perimeter highway in particular, people have long wanted to see grade separations instead of stoplights on the perimeter highway, so it's easier for trucks to move quickly around the city. It appears that they're going to use some of the new PST money to make that a reality. The fourth thing that I think you should know, again, about the speech from the throne definitely falls into the infrastructure category again, and this is new and additional money to help the city complete the bus rapid transit system. The second phase of bus rapid transit, which would run from Jubilee Avenue all the way down to the University of Manitoba, has been stuck essentially in limbo because of a funding dispute. The province is now saying that they will provide new money to help complete that link down from Jubilee to the university. And a big feature of that will be adding additional lanes to the Jubilee Pembina Highway underpass. That's pretty huge because, as most of you who travel Pembina Highway know, it's a bottleneck. It goes down to 2 lanes as the highway goes underneath Jubilee Avenue. That is going to be fixed as part of the government's commitment to spend this additional PST money. The fifth thing I'd like to bring up about this speech from the throne is what's not in the speech. What's not in the speech is any reference to the problems that the government had in getting its legislation passed in the spring session. That was a spring session of the legislature that became a summer session of the legislature because they could not get the cooperation of the opposition Progressive Conservatives to pass key pieces of legislation. Much of that legislation is back on the order paper now and will be up for debate and votes as soon as this session officially opens with today's throne speech. The problem is the opposition Progressive Conservatives have not promised that they're going to be any more cooperative. That could mean that we would get into the war of attrition we saw over the summer, and that is really going to affect the government's ability to do the things that it says it needs to do. That is a stay tuned moment that is not mentioned in the speech from the throne, but something you're going to want to follow in the weeks and months ahead.